Hello everyone. This is a brief how-to on the Websdr, how you use it. A few people have asked, so I thought I'd better do a video to show you. When you first open the page, you're greeted with this various load of tabs on the bottom, and we'll go through those bit by bit to show you. The basics are you click on the waterfall at the very bottom on a signal, and that will bring up that signal, and then you can obviously listen to it. To get audio, I've got it muted at the moment. If it doesn't start the audio immediately as soon as you open the page, you're probably going to need to click this start audio button. That should bring up the audio on most browsers. If not, for instance on Chrome, pretty much this button does what I'm about to show you. You go to this not secure tab bit on the left here, you go effectively into the site settings, and then you go to sound, and where it says allow, I've allowed it. That will be on automatic, so you want to click allow, then reload the page, and that should bring that back up. Okay, that gets your audio going. So a bit brief one about this tab. Obviously volume, that's quite straightforward. The audio buffer, that basically adds a delay to the audio that you're hearing. The reason for that is if you want to say you've got a bad jittery connection or slow internet connection or something like that, and the audio's stuttering, that's when you want to add a bit of delay onto it. Okay, it won't then be the same as the waterfall, so that delay will how do I put this, the waterfall readout will not match the sound by say a maximum of 2 seconds. So I hope that makes sense. So that's the only thing with that, but it does help, the buffering does help. If you want to add the squelching, that's automatic. Obviously that turns off the background noise. Say we're listening here. There you go, squelch gets rid of the background noise. Okay, left, right, and stereo, so you can have it on the left speaker, the right speaker, or on both speakers. And that's pretty much it on that. The donate button is goes to my PayPal donate page, and if you want to buy me a beer for the work I've put in, then that will be gratefully received. So that's how you do that. These here are this is for audio, just a GIF image showing you the audio. What I'd like to do is try and get this as a visualizer proper thing that's related to the actual audio you're listening to. I've done it on the recording tab, but I've not quite worked out how to do it with live audio yet, so coming soon. This is a signal strength plot, so if I go back to him, that should jump up now. So obviously the signal strength's gone higher now because we're on his signal. So that's the signal strength plot. That's it for that tab. So yeah, basically these are like presets, so you can go to them. So that's the calling channel. It'll then set the correct frequency mode as well if you're on that. So that's how you can quickly access them. The actual waterfall size and zoom, if you like, I'm hovering over it now with my mouse. If I move the roller wheel on the mouse, I can zoom in, and then I can zoom back out again with it as well. Okay, we can do that on the waterfall tab as well, which I'll show you in a minute, but it's quicker and easier if you've got a mouse with a roller wheel that you can do that with. Zoom in, click on a thing, on a signal, and then obviously see it better that way. So that's the best thing, a mouse wheel. This is why these pages work better on PCs rather than tablets and things like that. So that's how you do it. Obviously you can also click at the bottom here. You can drag these two bars here in the middle of them. You can drag that, and that will move your cursor to wherever you want to listen to. You can, if you want, drag these and change the bandwidth of a signal, or you can do that in the filter tab on the presets. So that's the idea of that. Up here we've got the signal meter and the signal readout, and it also tells you that in dBm. You can click on this and type in a frequency if you want to go to that. You can change the frequency, increment the frequency with these tabs, so I can go press and hold it and go down or up, and then it will go more or less, obviously the bigger increment. Obviously you can change the mode directly with these buttons. That changes obviously the filter size as well. You can move to a different band. So this particular one's got the bands that are in white here are for this WebSDR, and the bands that are in green are my other WebSDR. And if you click those, it will just open a new tab and go to that. I'm sorry about the red, it's because I was messing earlier. And there we go, that's now the other WebSDR. So I've got two located here with two different things. Of course, that's just a mirror image. So now that's got these all. And then if we want to go back to the other one, we click these green ones back to that side. So exactly the same, but I'll show you on this one. So that's how you do that. If you want to add your name up here or call sign, you can, and that'll sort of save that. And then if you go to the users tab, you can see everybody who's done that. The good thing about this tab as well is you can then click on a user and go to their frequency. So I click him, it takes me to where he is. I click him, takes me to where he is. So you can listen to what everyone else is listening to if they find a good signal. So that's quite a useful feature. Well, let's work our way through these tabs. So the waterfall tab is where you can then change the waterfall size, for instance, by dragging this, and then if I roll the mouse wheel in there, it'll put the cursor back where it should be. You can reset that as well back to how it should be. You can change it to I'll just do that again. You can change it to a spectrum readout if you want. It should be red, I think, now. And then I can change the color of that by moving this waterfall brightness on the spectrum. That changes the color of it. On the waterfall, that actually changes the brightness of it, which is good because it can bring out signals or remove signals. So that's good. You can add more contrast in there if you want to sort of show weaker signals. We can adjust the zoom level, or we can just press these and zoom in and zoom out, which is the same as your mouse scroll wheel. You can zoom into the maximum, you can zoom out minimum, you can do super zoom, which makes it huge, but then obviously it messes with the layout. But if you're just wanting to see a signal and zoom in on that signal, that's a really good way of doing it. Super zoom on that and watch how his signal works. Let's get rid of that. On here we've got display all bands or one band, and we can turn the labels off. So that's the labels gone. We can turn the display off as well completely if you want to, for sort of if you've got a bad connection, you don't want to use the kind of bandwidth on the graph, you just want to listen. You center the RX, that hasn't worked. That usually centers it into the middle. I think we were already in the center, weren't we? So yeah, that's those. All bands will display all of the bands on the WebSDR in one go, basically, so you can look at everything. I use this just to make sure everything's working. Well, is that because we've got the waterfall brightness in a weird place? There we go. So I just use this for that. I default it to one band for everybody, because otherwise, if everybody's looking at every band at the same time, it uses quite a lot of CPU on the server. So it's default, but it's quite handy if you just want to scroll through and see what's going on at any one time on all the bands. Same on the other WebSDR. So that's that. Let's go back to one so it's easier to see it all in one page. That's that tab. Right, next one, DSP. So obviously you can add DSP in various different levels, which will take away the background noise of a signal. Let's go and show you something if I can. What is going on? Keep getting weird things coming up. Let's choose him. It's probably not going to work that well on his signal. So it makes it more hollow sounding. As you can see, it's got rid of the background noise. So also, if you want to, these are quick signal enhancements here. If I click the FM one, it's added a bit of DSP. And actually, it seems to have muted. There we go. Adds a bit of DSP, narrows the filter, and just brings them out like it's better on a weak signal. I can show you on a weak signal is probably better, because that's a repeater. There's not much going on 2 meters at the moment. We can't show you. But anyway, if you've got weak signal, these are the quick fixes for that. So it just narrows the bandwidth. It then So here's the bandwidth filter. You can see if I click on this here, these two here are the bandwidth, and of course that just narrows that down. So say we go back to normal bandwidth and then go back to DSP and click FM, it will narrow that down. Look, so that brings out the weaker signal. Same on USB and LSB. Okay, so that's that. This is just a graph for visualization, really. It's just a picture. The filter tab, back to where we were with the filters, you can either drag it with the yellow cursor, or you can do the preset. So 12 kilohertz for FM, or you can bring it down to 8 or 6, again for weaker signals or wider signals, or just click the buttons and it will bring it down or up itself. Okay, you can do it with these, drag it with these as well for each side, but that's really for SSB and CW, so that's for those. So that's that. Volume actually does work, fine tunes actually does work. These are just extras I'm messing with at the moment, so not really in use. But memories, you can save a memory. So if we want to click save, that will just add that memory that you're listening to at the moment, and then it brings you a new tab, so you can then just click on that. Say we're over here, oh actually I want to click on my memory. There you go, that's how you do that. You can give it a name if you want. There you go. So that changes its name to that, and then the Websdr will save all of this as well. So when you come back, it will remember these in a cookie. Hence why we've got the thing at the start saying it's going to save your cookies. So if I come back to the web page, it will remember this, and then you'll always have these memories, which is good. You can add loads of them wherever you want, or you can go to them, or you can delete them, or save another one, etc. So let's get rid of that. So that's the memories one. Recording. Let's go back to this. If I unmute, sorry about all the take that off as well. Sorry, recording. I click start, that's counting up because we're now recording this. It's not recording me, of course, it's recording this. If I click stop, and then if I now mute the whole audio coming in, if I click play, that will play that file, and this is our visualizer, so we can see. Very handy, very useful tool if you want to listen to yourself or someone else. You can then download that file, click download, and it will just download it to your PC or whatever you're using. It's really good. That's the recording tab, quite pleased with that one. Info tab, loads of information about the Websdr, my YouTube channel, which you're watching at the moment. Various other little pages you can click to go to other things, lightning map, etc. QRZ search we've got covered down here in another tab. I'll show you keyboard controls, how to use them, any credits. Obviously this has been put together with the help of other people, or the Websdr hosts and amateurs, and they've helped, and it's a nice community. Everybody helps everybody out, so we've been able to add some of these features because of some of their excellent work. So I've tried to credit them here where possible. And then of course updates, this is where I just add the bits I've added and stuff like that, and you can see over time what things have been added. Further down we've got other features and information, basically, hence info tab. That's that one. Page layout, this is cool. You can change all sorts of things with the layout. You can change the theme. This is why the pink keeps coming up, because I went and changed the page color like that, and then it seems to remember it. So every time I then try and do something else, it keeps flicking to that. But if I reload the page, it will go. Anyway, these are different themes. You can change the italics of the main font here. You can make it full screen. You can turn that off again. You can put the Jodrell theme on, and that will just sort of bring up the Jodrell picture in the background, all sorts of stuff, or just reset it back to the default. I've got another original GUI here as well you can go to. So yeah, quite a few bits and bobs there. Change the font color if you want, change the slider color. The only thing with this page is the Websdr at the moment will not remember it. So if you do change anything on here, when you come back to the Websdr, it's going to all be back to standard again, I'm afraid. I could probably eventually add that, but I don't know if many people use this. It just gives you another, say you're bored of the standard layout, you can just click another one and have a slightly different look. So that's the reason for that. Showed you about the users tab, where you can click on everybody and see how many visitors have been to the page. Wow, 500,000 since August 2020. Chat. add a few things in here if you want, write some stuff, questions, whatever. No abuse, nothing like that. It's just about the WebSDR. If you see a signal or you ask a few questions, people to say hi and stuff like that. So it's there to be used, but sensibly. I can go in and delete things if I need to. I have done in the past. You just basically type in here, click chatbot submit, and it'll add a new line of your message. Logbook, you can go into the logbook. Oh, that's not working either. Oh, it is. Go into the logbook and basically add a signal that a station that you've heard in the logbook. So you can see what people have done. It's quite good looking at what people are picking up. This one, that Alaska one, will be one of the HubNet repeaters that they're listening on probably. But yeah, quite good that the people are picking things up, and then they'll pop it in here, and yeah, it's useful. Oh, someone's heard me by the looks of it. Look, I've obviously been talking on air and somebody's heard me. So that's cool. So yeah, things like that. You just basically add the call sign in here and any comments, and then click submit, and then click refresh to see it on here. That's that. The OpenWebRx tab is just go into my other third server, which is actually based on this OpenWebRx WebSDR system instead. Slightly different layout, slightly easier to use, but this one's not got such a good antenna, and it's only doing it does quite a lot of frequencies, but it's just using a collinear, whereas the one you're listening to now has got more features and antenna and stuff like that. But it's a very good additional one to have, hence why I've got a link to it. Click on that, opens a new tab and goes to that. Antennas is just a list of my antennas that we've got, and a couple of pictures. This is what we're using here on these WebSDRs. XPU weather, this is cool. This is my weather display. It will be blank when you first load the page, and then you click show XPU weather and it will update as well. So it's 18 degrees currently outside. I've got a weather station on site, and this is where this information is coming from. Or you can open it in a new tab as well. So that's cool. I'm just going to put the page layout back to normal. That's XPU weather. The call sign lookup, this is a cool new feature as well. I've just been playing with this before, so you can add in a call sign in here. Let's put me in, and then you can click quick lookup, and it will go off and find that person and give you the details of them. You can then click on the display on QRZ, and it will actually take you to the QRZ page instead. The other thing is you can stick a locator in here. Let's put the locator of this place in. It will click convert, it will convert them to lat long, and then it will put that into this page. So all you then do here is click on that and press return, and it will take you to the lat long of what you just searched for. So that's where we are. So that's a really useful page. You don't have to go to another web page to do it. You can just do it here, which is cool. On the other WebSDR server, the other thing to show you is, let me go back to 20 meters for instance. What I've got is a oh, it's gone. Oh, I'm missing some stuff. Oh, I've got a beacons tab on here, but it's not there. So I'll find the beacon tab and get it back up. But anyway, basically click on the beacon tab and it will show you all the locator beacons and the layout of them. I should have found this. Oh, there it is. There we go. Phew. Oh, I thought it was at this end. I'm losing the plot. So yeah, that will basically scroll through every 10 seconds. It will scroll through the beacons that you can currently hear. So we're on 14100 lux. So this is the window we want to be looking at here. Currently it's listening to New York. So I'll actually come off that, have a listen. So I don't know what we'll hear. Curious now. But anyway, this is how you'll hear it. You just listen, and then it will go. If you hear the call sign, it will tell you which call sign you're listening to because it's scrolling through. You can click on this tab and it will take you to the actual VE3SUN beacon site, which is where this info is from. This is his work. So we're not hearing anything yet. That means 20 meters isn't open yet, because we're listening on there. We're looking at what beacons there are. We're not hearing anything just yet. So, but useful thing to have all the same, all on one page, so you don't have to go anywhere for it. So that's the Jodrell 1. I was obviously on Jodrell 2 before, but the functionality is the same except the beacons doesn't exist on that one. So I hope that helps. Yeah, basically all you want to do is get your volume and audio working. go and find a signal on the waterfall, click on it, firstly below the waterfall. If you zoom in, you'll see the lines. Then you can drag it if you want to where you want to be, and then have a listen. Yeah, any questions, either pop it in the chat below or give us an email. Any future things you'd like to see, let us know. But enjoy. Thanks for watching. Catch you again.